Do you wake up feeling like your brain is in a fog, struggling to remember simple names or where you just put your keys? We've been told for years that memory loss and confusion are just a normal part of getting older. But what if I told you that's a complete myth? The truth is, your brain might not be aging. It might just be starving. Today, I'm revealing 3 simple morning foods that heal your brain and sharpen your memory overnight. And wait until you see food number 1. You've probably been told to avoid it your entire life, but it's actually the most powerful memory-boosting powerhouse sitting right in your kitchen. Welcome back to Senior Health Compass, where we separate facts from fiction to help you protect your mind, your vision, and your independence. I've spent over 3 decades helping seniors recover their mental clarity and joy, and the biggest misconception I see is people blaming their age for their fading memory. Think about what happens while you sleep. Your brain is working the night shift, flushing out toxins and repairing damaged pathways. But how does it rebuild if you don't give it the right raw materials when the sun comes up? A fascinating study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience revealed a shocking truth. People over 60 who eat a breakfast rich in protein and serotonin-supporting nutrients score 23% higher on memory tests compared to those who eat processed carbs or skip breakfast entirely. That is nearly a quarter of your brain power unlocked just by eating the right things in the morning. When you reach for sugary cereals, plain white toast, or just a cup of black coffee, you are actively silencing the exact nutrients your brain is begging for after a long night of detoxing. You aren't losing your memory simply because you are over 65. You are losing it because your brain's chemical factory is running on empty and chronic inflammation is taking over. But there is incredibly good news. You don't need expensive supplements, complicated diets, or trendy internet drinks. You just need to make tiny strategic changes to your morning routine. I'm going to show you 3 completely natural, affordable foods you probably already have in your pantry. As always, before we dive into our countdown, please remember that while I share science-backed strategies, I am not your personal doctor. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making major dietary changes, especially if you are managing diabetes or taking medications. Are you ready to clear that brain fog and finally get the restful, repairing sleep your mind needs? Let's dive into food number 3 on our list. And trust me, it's a sweet treat you might be eating at the completely wrong time of day. Let's kick off our countdown with food number 3. It is cheap, it is everywhere, and it is completely misunderstood. The humble banana. Most of us think of bananas simply as a quick midday snack or a basic source of potassium to prevent leg cramps. But what if I told you that eating a banana at 8 a.m. is actually the secret to getting deep, brain-healing sleep at 10 p.m.? It sounds completely counterintuitive, but it all comes down to a powerful amino acid called tryptophan. You see, your brain operates like a highly complex chemical factory. As we age, our natural production of essential neurotransmitters begins to slow down. Not because our brain is broken, but because it is lacking the right fuel. Tryptophan is the vital raw material your body uses to produce serotonin. Serotonin is the chemical responsible for keeping your mood stable, your focus sharp, and your memory encoding actively during the day. But the magic certainly doesn't stop there. As the sun goes down, your body converts that daytime serotonin directly into melatonin, the hormone that dictates your sleep-wake cycle. When older adults lack tryptophan, serotonin plummets. This inevitably leads to sudden brain fog, daytime irritability, and most importantly, shallow, fragmented sleep. Without deep sleep, your brain's glymphatic system, the internal cleaning crew that flushes out memory-destroying toxins and amyloid proteins, simply cannot do its job. I remember a patient of mine, Ellen, who was 71 years old. She came to me incredibly frustrated, saying, "I wake up exhausted every single day. I don't even remember my dreams anymore. It feels like my brain never actually rests." I didn't prescribe her a heavy, habit-forming sleep aid. Instead, I simply asked her to eat 1 banana every morning within 2 hours of waking up. Just 2 weeks later, Ellen returned to my office with a completely different energy. She told me, "I don't just sleep deeper now. I actually feel awake when I open my eyes." That is the profound power of giving your brain the right tools on a consistent schedule. However, a quick word of caution on how you consume them. You must avoid unripe, green bananas as they contain high amounts of resistant starch that can cause severe bloating and digestive discomfort as we age. On the flip side, skip the overripe, dark brown bananas. They are loaded with excess sugar that will spike your blood glucose. You are looking for a yellow banana with just a few small brown spots for optimal antioxidants and easy digestion. We have just unlocked the secret to nighttime brain recovery, but when one question resolves, another must immediately take its place. What if your biggest struggle isn't just sleeping at night, but surviving that dreadful mid-morning crash where you suddenly feel dizzy, confused, and unable to focus? That brings us to food number 2, a powerful inflammation fighter. If you find yourself losing focus, getting dizzy, or experiencing a heavy brain fog around 10:30 a.m., your brain isn't just aging, it is crashing. That is why food number 2 on our countdown is an absolute non-negotiable for lasting mental clarity. A warm bowl of real oat porridge. Now, I am not talking about those flavored, microwavable oatmeal packets loaded with artificial sugars and preservatives. I am talking about traditional rolled or steel-cut oats. For decades, we have been told that our brains naturally slow down and get fuzzy simply because we are getting older. The truth is much more mechanical. Your brain uses glucose as its primary fuel source, but it demands that fuel be delivered slowly, evenly, and without causing inflammation. When you eat processed toast or skip breakfast entirely, your blood sugar spikes and then violently plummets, quite literally starving your brain cells and triggering confusion. Real oat porridge is packed with complex carbohydrates and a very specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. Why does this matter for your memory? Because chronic low-grade inflammation is actually one of the leading hidden drivers of cognitive decline in adults over 65. In 2022, a study published in the Nutrients Journal observed that beta-glucan supplementation improved working memory and attention span in older adults after just 8 weeks. By reducing systemic inflammation, beta-glucan protects your hippocampus, the memory center of your brain, allowing it to function properly. Plus, oats are naturally rich in magnesium, a mineral crucial for nerve function and preventing brain fatigue. By eating just half a cup of plain oats cooked in water or unsweetened almond milk, topped perhaps with a sprinkle of cinnamon, you provide your brain with a steady, calming stream of fuel for hours. Of course, if you have diabetes or insulin sensitivity, please monitor your blood sugar response and always discuss your carbohydrate intake with your doctor. We have covered how to sleep deeper and how to maintain steady daytime focus. But as powerful as bananas and oats are, they are missing one vital component, a building block so crucial to your memory that without it, your brain's communication network physically cannot fire. For years, mainstream advice told you to avoid this next food entirely, completely ignoring what skipping it was doing to your cognitive health. Are you ready for the ultimate memory-boosting powerhouse? Let's move on to food number 1. And finally, we have reached food number 1. For decades, you were likely told by well-meaning experts to avoid this food at all costs. You were warned it would clog your arteries and ruin your heart. But modern science has completely flipped the script. It turns out that skipping this food might actually be starving your brain of its most critical memory-building nutrient. I am talking about the humble boiled egg, specifically the yolk. Let's set the record straight on cholesterol. Recent large-scale studies have shown that for the vast majority of healthy older adults, eating moderate amounts of eggs does not increase the risk of heart disease. In fact, what you lose by avoiding eggs is far more dangerous to your cognitive health. The magic of the egg yolk lies in a nutrient called choline. Choline is the direct precursor to acetylcholine, which is arguably the most important neurotransmitter in your brain for memory, focus, and mental flexibility. As we age, our natural production of acetylcholine begins to drop. That is exactly why you might experience those frustrating, tip-of-the-tongue moments where you know a word but just can't seem to retrieve it. Your brain's communication network is simply running out of the chemical messenger it needs to fire efficiently. But here is the incredible news. Just one large egg provides nearly 30% of your daily choline requirement. I will never forget a patient named Harold. He was 76 and came to me feeling defeated. He said, "I used to love reading, but now I have to read the same sentence 5 times, and I still forget what it means." He honestly thought his mind was slipping away for good. We didn't do anything drastic or prescribe heavy medications. I simply asked him to add 2 boiled eggs to his breakfast every other day. 3 weeks later, Harold sat in my office and smiled. He told me, "I don't just read better, I think better." That isn't magic. That is simply giving a starving brain the choline it desperately needs to rebuild its connections. To get the maximum benefit, timing is crucial. You want to eat your eggs within 2 hours of waking up. This pairs perfectly with your body's natural morning cortisol rise, maximizing the neurochemical production that will eventually help your brain repair itself while you sleep that night. Just remember to keep it healthy. Stick to soft or hard-boiled eggs. Avoid frying them in heavy butter or oils, which can trigger the exact inflammation we are trying to prevent. So now you know the 3 most powerful morning foods for your brain: bananas for sleep-inducing serotonin, oats for inflammation-fighting energy, and boiled eggs for memory-boosting choline. But knowing the foods is only half the battle. How do you actually put this into practice without feeling overwhelmed? Now that you understand the powerful science behind these 3 everyday foods, how do you actually use them without getting bored or feeling overwhelmed? It is not about eating a massive, complicated feast every single morning. It is about establishing rhythm and consistency for your brain. I like to call it the 1-1 plan. The concept is incredibly simple. You just rotate these 3 foods throughout your week. One morning, you have 2 boiled eggs with a slice of whole grain toast. The next morning, you enjoy a warm, comforting bowl of oat porridge. The morning after that, you eat a yellow banana paired with a spoonful of almond butter to balance the absorption. Then, you simply repeat the cycle. This approach gives your nervous system a constant, varied supply of choline, beta-glucan, and tryptophan without any dietary fatigue. But please listen to me closely on this next point. This is the most crucial part of the entire video. While these foods are deeply healing, your body is entirely unique. If you are currently managing a condition like diabetes, you must carefully monitor how your blood sugar reacts to the carbohydrates in oats or bananas. If you have a history of severe cardiovascular issues or familial high cholesterol, do not just start eating eggs blindly without checking your specific health markers. Always, and I mean always, have a direct conversation with your primary care doctor or a registered dietitian before making significant changes to your daily routine. Tell them you want to incorporate these whole foods to support your cognitive health and ask for their professional guidance based on your personal lab results. These foods are not a magical cure-all, and they absolutely do not replace your prescribed medications. But when used correctly and safely, they are a powerful daily signal. They are a message you send to your body every single morning that you are not giving up, that your mind is worth protecting, and that you are giving your brain the exact tools it needs to repair itself tonight.